this right here is 40 Washington Street, and these are our program offices. Like everybody else in the world, we've had significant changes over the last several months since COVID started. The most significant being that day-to-day life in people's, living environments here at the shelter is completely uprooted. Whereas my day-to-day life at home or yours may not be completely uprooted. It's just, when we go out in public or, when we have errands to run, that's when we're reminded of COVID. But here at the shelter, they're reminded every minute because of all of the changes that we've had to make. This door is always open and families always buzz and are able to come in and meet with their the staff inside. And now things have changed. They have to buzz and wait outside. And when someone is able to meet with a client, we have designated meeting spaces outside because they're not, we can't have people in confined spaces. So this is where families are able to meet with their case manager, and the children are able to still entertain themselves, run around. The parents still able to watch the children, but focus on the conversation with the case manager and what they're trying to, discuss at that time. It's really crucial to meet face-to-face with people because you're able to read people's body language and facial expressions. And when you notice that someone's saying, hey, I'm fine, but their body language and their face is saying something different, you're able to tap into that and ask questions and have conversation that kind of, give somebody the understanding that that they're really not fine, even though they're saying that, and you're allowing them the opportunity to express what really is on their mind. So to me, face-to-face is crucial. Staff and families really understand the significance of it all, and that although these adjustments and changes and, restrictions are in place, that it's for safety and for nothing else. It's to keep them safe. It's to keep staff safe. And if we had an outbreak, what would we do? How would we get staff to come in? And I explained to them that having staff on site makes everybody feel safe. So when we have these restrictions in place, it's because the absolute worst case scenario is too much to bear. So we don't want staff to not be able to come in because there's an outbreak in the building, because then we worry about each individual family and person's safety. I had a participant say, even if I was sick, I wouldn't say anything. And that was really upsetting to me at the time. And then I thought about it, and I thought about what the conditions would be for them if they said they were sick. So for example, if I'm at home and I get COVID, I have support who would be able to care for my children. Here in the shelter, some families don't have that support. So when they think of getting sick or having to go into a hospital or having to be quarantined, the fear is, what will happen to my child? When that was said to me, we really had to think about how to make families feel comfortable enough, or at least try to have families feel comfortable enough to be able to say, hey, I'm not feeling good. And since we've had that dialogue, we have had several families that have been able to reach out and say, you know what, I'm not feeling well today. And then we talk about what the protocol is. And first and foremost, it's that they contact their primary care physician. And then it's to stay in touch with us and keep us updated, and to restrict access to your room until you're feeling better for 3 days. And like I said, fortunately, despite the fevers and the illnesses people have had in shelter, we have not had one case of COVID, and we're fortunate for that. I think about how stressful it is for the families as when they come into shelter, and the things that they have that weigh on their mind, and the worries, the fears, and then the adaptations they have to make to shelter living. And like I said, when you throw COVID on it, that's an abrupt, swift change. That's not something that changed over a period of time and people were able to regulate and adjust to. it was all of a sudden, you can't do this or you have to do that. It just changes how you function with your family day to day. As you know, in the summer, kids want to play outside. Following the guidance of the state and the city, I made the decision to close off the playground, and it was just sad. It was sad. The kids came outside and they saw the caution tape and the fence closed and the swings blocked off, and parents came and they said, what is going on? I said, unfortunately at this time we have to follow the phase rules, and in phase 1 there was no playgrounds. We are reopening the playground. We've written the policy. We'll be taping off every other swing, so that will allow 2 swings access. And the play structure right here, we're actually going to put, the little footprints and stop signs and make it the signage child friendly, so that even if they can't read, they can see through the pictures that, here you stop, you wait, and then somebody goes, because we want to make sure that families are able to access the playground, but that they're still safe. I know for a lot of families, when they come into shelter, that the structure and the services that are provided, they provide some sort of stability and security in knowing what to expect every day. And when you change the programming abruptly the way that we have, that messes with the security that people feel, and then it creates a whole nother level of uncertainty. So now you're not only worried about, well, how does COVID affect me getting an apartment, or when will I get, be able to return to work? And we still have many families who are wondering if they're going to get their jobs back, if they're going to get their daycare back, what daycare will look like for their children. We even have families who, for one reason or another, they have other children who aren't here in shelter with them. And they haven't been able to have their weekend overnight visits because we had to restrict visitation to the building so that we can ensure safety for all the families here. But when you think about a 4 or 5-year-old, they're not understanding why they can't visit with their mom, or even, children who might be a little bit older. It's hard to understand why you can't visit with your mom, or when you do visit with your mom, why things are significantly different the way that they are, having to keep space or limit the amount of affection that's given. I mean, when we see kids, you want to hug them, and for some parents right now, that's not an option. And so that breaks my heart. I think about that often. As challenging as this job is and has been, it's like a roller coaster. Sometimes it's good, and sometimes it's a lot harder than you might have ever thought it would be. I wouldn't change my career or the agency that I work for at all. The culture of this agency is amazing. The care and compassion that they have for the families in the community that we serve, but for their employees as well, is phenomenal. It's remarkable. I wouldn't easily be able to describe it. But my heart is here with this agency. It means a lot to me to work for citizens. If I say one thing to somebody that has a positive impact on their life, whether it be 5 minutes from now or 25 years from now, doesn't matter. That's the purpose of working here, is to have a positive impact somewhere along the line. And we have families. I just had a family come back the other day who's been out of shelter for 5 years. And she came by just to say hi and to check and make sure everybody's doing well. She likes to remind her kids of the experience here and how positive it was for them. And she likes to bring them back and have them say hello. So it was wonderful to have her show up. And then the next day, another participant who left maybe last year, I think, came as well, just to say hi, check in, see how everybody's doing. To me, that sense of gratitude is heartfelt and genuine, and it reminds us of why we do what we do. And to the families that are here now in shelter, and the families that have gone, thank you for for letting us be honored enough to be part of your lives, because I learn something new from all of you every day. Every interaction I have with people, it's citizens, whether it be in the community or, just day-to-day chit-chat with families. I'm always learning something. I'm able to see things from other people's perspectives, and having this kind of interaction, and it provides a level of insight that maybe you wouldn't get in another career. And so I'm thankful to all of you for letting me be part of your journey.